Good morning and welcome to DayBreak. I'm Debbie Wren, President of the Oxford Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Terry Stiles, Production Manager at OCTV. Welcome back.
Hey, yeah, what a weekend we had.
Oh,
Sunday out at
goodness.
Boulder Point for our Oxford Chamber Health and Business Expo. You know, it was our second year of this particular expo.
Yeah.
And the weather wasn't kind to us again, but
it was fun to sit at the door and see people come in, and as soon as that rain started coming down, the traffic slowed down.
Yes.
It always kind of slows things down no matter what it is, whether you're voting or a wedding but people still came out.
They did. And that's what I really like, you know, the support that we had from the community. And I even was talking with some people came from Ortonville.
Yep, they did.
And so, you know, it was
we
really...
So we sat at our table, we had people signing our survey, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but we had to ask people where they were from.
Sure.
Because it's important for them to be from this area. We had people from Romeo, Lapeer, Ortonville, Lake Orion, and certainly a lot from Oxford area.
Wonderful.
And Addison Township. And so it was all the corners that we touch.
Yes.
Obviously, they knew it was happening. I was pretty impressed with that. You have a business expo on a Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
And there was, at one point I looked up and I couldn't see down the aisleway because there were people everywhere. It was really neat.
Well, and I had one of the alcove rooms.
Yes,
and so in just looking out, I had a lot of activity going on in our room, but every time I was able to look out, there were always a sea of people.
Yeah.
So
I love
that was really very, very good. I love doing the expos ever since I've been involved with the chamber. I have done an expo every single year, and I truly enjoy it. And this year, just kind of like a behind the scenes, if you just want to hear about it, we get our tables, we rent our tables every year, and we always have Crossroads for Youth, which those young
kids
men
are something else, aren't they?
They are always such a big help, and they help every one of our vendors. They come up and they unload the cars for them. They put them on these nice carts. The people will come in and the boys will take all of their stuff right to their table, help them put it onto the table, and people are like, wow. Those who have done this for the first time are really quite amazed. And as being a vendor, I know, and trust me, those boys, they had a lot of stuff to take out of my room.
And they were there all day.
They come first thing in the morning, and then afterwards, after all of our vendors are in, then they go back.
Oh, because it seemed like I was watching them.
That's how fast it was going.
In and out and in and out.
because when it was time to leave, they're asked if they would please come back at 2:30. Because we then start packing up, wrapping everything up by 3, and I'll tell you, by 4 o'clock they had all of us out of there.
Wow.
Plus the young men all got pizzas.
Oh,
we
good.
get them pizza in the morning. Thank you to McDonald's. McDonald's was the one that provided
and they were there
them,
too.
and they were there
neat.
too.
Yeah.
Yep. And they provided all the boys with their breakfast sandwiches and orange juice.
I missed that part.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
I mean, the community was really quite nice, as always,
And new vendors were there too, which was really nice to see. People that I didn't see last year were there and involved. And in fact, Freedom Kitchen, I tried to get to their table probably 5-6 times throughout the day.
And it was busy?
Finally I was able, it was very busy. And finally I was able to talk to Lisa and Keith. And if you have not been to Freedom Kitchen yet, they're at The Legacy Center, Legacy 925.
Yes.
And they're opened up finally, and healthy food and just lovely people.
They
I mean, you just
truly
want to give
are.
them a hug every time you see them. They're really great
they truly
people.
are. Dr. Keith came to, being that they're in the Legacy Center along with Bulls Boxing. Dr. Keith came down a week ago Friday, and he spoke to the Parkinson's group that we have there, and he had his conversation with them that was all pertaining to diet and supplements that would help them with energy and just to make them feel better on their day-to-day living. So very, very nice young man. And I had met him while he was in there prior to opening, because it's the former Fuel Your Cafe, just so that you know where it is in the building there. And just down to earth people, and food was, it's good.
You know, I have a funny story about that. 4th of July weekend, my kids came over, and we live on a lake, and we all packed up everything we had onto the pontoon, and we parked it on the sandbar, right? Because it was a really hot weekend.
Yes, it was.
We had the grandkids out there and my son, and this really nice young man pulls up in his really cool boat and gets his little kids out, and he parked right next to us, and he and my son started chatting. They're the same age. Turns out they played against each other in football, and so they knew a lot of the same people. And so for a good 2 or 3 hours, they talked, you know, and the kids played because the kids are the same age. Well, then he says, well, you know, I'm renting out here on the lake for my kids to have water in the summer, but I just bought a business in Oxford. Well, you know, my ears went up. Oh, well, so I work for the television station. If you want us to promote your business, that's fine. Okay, well, I'm a chiropractor. And I said, well, what's your business? Can't tell you yet. So I was all excited, but I hadn't, he didn't tell me what it was. So about a month or 2 later, Lisa called, and he did say something about it being a health food. So Lisa called and said, hi, I'm Lisa, and we started a new business, my partner and I, blah. Your partner wouldn't happen to be Dr. Keith, would it? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So we got to know him on a personal level, which was really neat. So I didn't feel like it was a sales pitch. You know, when I started hearing about how great that their food is and their plan is and what they want to do for the community, I didn't feel like it was a sales pitch at all. And that he wanted to use OCTV or anything. They're just real live people. It was really fun.
And their passion is just outstanding. I mean, they're going to be having classes on keto diet and many, many different things.
She's so knowledgeable about healthy living. It's not even just the diet, but feeling good about yourself regardless of what stage you're in. She is such a knowledgeable lady. She was telling me, for the moms out there, she's holding a class soon for moms, teaching moms how to cook for their kids, that the kids will like what they're eating. So I'm so excited for them. I hope people get in there, and it's kind of an out-of-the-way place, but it's a perfect place for doing what they're doing.
Exactly. I mean, that's a very large facility that they have, and you know, they know that, you know, with being the chamber member, we're going to definitely be promoting them in our newsletters. You know, when these classes are coming up, so that you'll be able to not only go on their website, but you'll also be able to be receiving it in our weekly newsletters as well. So, wow.
Love that newsletter. Oh, I know, I always rattle on.
That's okay.
Thanks for joining
We're just going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back, okay? So don't go away. We've got a lot more to share with you.
Hi, I'm Elgin Nichols with Oxford Community Television.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we represent Minutes by Minute, in which case you want to catch local information that's going on with your government officials.
That's right. Whether you live in the village of Oxford, Oxford Township, village of Leonard, Addison Township, we'll cover it all.
All of the above, and we'll look to see you there.
Welcome back to Daybreak. Debbie Wren, President of the Oxford Chamber of Commerce, here
And I'm
with...
Terry Stiles. I'm anxious today.
Yeah.
Production manager at OCTV.
And we were talking about the Oxford Health and Business Expo that we had on Sunday, and we got carried away like we
Really
always seem
gave
to
Freedom
do.
Kitchen a plug.
But quite
That's
honestly, I mean, I'd like to be able to thank all of the people, all of our volunteers that were there to help
Yeah.
with the chamber. Just about all of our board members were there, and Terry now is one of our board members. So thank you for
Yeah,
being
sure.
there, both for OCTV
Yes.
and also for helping out with
I
the
tried,
chamber.
yeah.
And also the people, you know, we had our raffle ticket, which is always the biggest fundraiser for us. And our grand prize was a $500 Visa gift card. And then we had what we call a booze basket, which a lot of
Golly,
people
that was-
donated for that to put into that basket. So thank you to all who did help to fill that up, because that was
Huge.
ginormous.
It was a big cooler, a
It
beautiful
was.
cooler to begin
Yes.
with on wheels.
Exactly, and
and
heavy.
yeah.
I mean, Chief helped bring that in, but it was
was
very,
heavy,
very heavy.
yeah.
And then the Taste of Oxford. All of our businesses
Yeah,
around Oxford,
yeah.
you know, I don't want to say everybody's name only because I'm liable to forget somebody. So all of you, you know who you are, many, many, many. That was a
Lots
very...
of great baskets, lots
Yes.
of great raffle gifts, door prizes. Wow.
The door prizes, you know, all of our vendors, and a big shout out to all of our vendors, because
Yeah.
we were asked, and you know, you're asked and sometimes people don't do, but I want to say that all of our vendors provided a very nice gift that was then turned around and given as door prizes to those who
Yeah.
came in, because everyone who entered got a ticket. And those door prizes were going out all,
Yeah, they were
all
flying.
day.
Yeah, every half hour they had enough to do 2 or 3.
I think they were
It was
doing
really
4.
nice,
I think
yeah.
they were doing 4 every hour.
Yeah.
And that is a lot.
That's pretty
That's
fantastic.
a lot.
And they
so-
weren't just, you mentioned nice gifts. They weren't just cheapo, here's a pair of
Exactly.
socks
Exactly.
and go home.
Exactly.
It was
I mean-
amazing what those vendors did.
Yeah, it was just very, very good. So
was
look
success.
forward to once again having this again next year. Undoubtedly, it will be in September again, but as soon as we do decide on that date, we'll start sharing that. But we do enjoy having the expo. It is a big thing for us as far as providing monies back to McLaren for the Sister to Sister Fund, which is for breast cancer, and it's allowing women in Oakland County who are unable to afford to have mammograms. McLaren Hospital through Sister's Sister is providing those mammograms for these ladies. So this has been our
great
big
cause.
deal and big cause every year. So October now is here, and that's Breast Cancer Month. So
And so next year you better go, because we weren't able to cover it this year. We're cutting back on some of the stuff that we're doing because of our funds are being cut back. So I was disappointed that we couldn't cover
Yes.
it, but you have to be there next year.
exactly, exactly. So moving on, I just want to talk about the Chamber's upcoming Mix and Mingle, which will be on Thursday, October 24th at 4:30. We're going to be at Sullivan's
Yay.
Public House this time. So as you know, every month we're at a different restaurant, and so this month
month.
we're going to be at Sullivan's. We had our Coffee Connect, which happened to have been yesterday, and that was at Genesis Credit Union. Big turnout. And our next one then, it's always the first Tuesday of every month, so our next one will be on Tuesday, November 5th. Those are in the morning from 8 to 9 o'clock, and that's going to be at our AT&T facility, which is at 1510 South Lapeer Road. So those are our big things coming up, and then we have to talk about the parade, the Christmas
Oh, yeah.
parade for Saturday in December.
I can't believe we're talking about that already.
I know. It's not snowing, but you know, people, we have so many people that have been calling the office. I've even seen it on Facebook. What is this year's theme for the
yeah,
parade?
right.
So it
always
is
fun.
old-fashioned Christmas.
Love that.
So I'm looking forward to seeing. We have so many creative people, you know, and these floats that come in. I'm always there at the registration area, so I get to see them very first thing.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
they coming down the road, and I'm like, oh my gosh, get a load of that.
I'd love to sign up for that.
You can. We'll take you.
Oh, yeah. So, I think it would be a good challenge to challenge the businesses to have an outside decorated tree in Old Fashioned.
Do you know what we are doing?
What?
We are going to be asking, and this is going to be in partnership with the DDA, but we are asking those businesses to decorate their windows.
Okay.
So we want to
Yeah.
see those businesses, and I'm pretty sure that there is going to be a contest for that
Good.
as well.
Good.
Because all these people come into town, they see these businesses, and these businesses, I don't know if it's just because it hasn't been put out there, but you will see some that will do some decorations, but let's really go all out this year, guys,
Right.
and show the people that come into our community to stand there and be there for that parade and see Santa coming to town and be able to
And make
talk
people
to
want to
Santa.
go into your shop with these
Exactly.
pretty little decorations. and-
Exactly.
yeah.
Open up your doors,
Yep.
be festive.
Yep.
I mean, I love Christmas. Yes, it can be
fun.
cold. Yes, it can be dreary sometimes. Last year for that weather was really, it was a tough one.
Yeah.
But you know what? We have had bitter, bitter cold
Oh, my
winters.
goodness,
We
we have.
have had nice warm winters.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, so I do the announcing for the studio.
correct.
And a couple of years ago, I just had a sweatshirt on. It was
Yeah,
really
well,
neat.
I'm the one walking around in that Christmas tree, and if it's really
That's
cold,
right.
I'm nice
You're
and toasty
happy,
warm.
happy girl.
But wow, if it's warm, it's kind of
Oh,
like I could use a
yeah.
fan inside there. But I love doing it because I love to see the faces on the little kids like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, look at that tree.
tree.
And then when that tree's hand comes out, it's like, oh, but I enjoy that.
That's why we do those parades, are
Exactly.
for the little kids
the
and
kids.
for just the spirit of the community. I'm so glad you're going to have it this year. I was
Oh.
worried last year.
I know. And the community, once again, has all,
Kicked in.
they've all kicked
Yep.
in. So the support of the community, helping out with that. This
Mm-hmm.
has been a chamber event that has been for close to 50 years.
Yeah,
Close to 50
wow.
years.
Isn't that something?
And that says a lot. It says a
Sure
lot for our
does.
community.
And for the chamber.
And
to
for the
be-
chamber.
To have that stick-to-itiveness
Exactly.
to continue. Because I'm sure there were some rough years.
There's been some challenges. I won't deny it, but I'm just so thrilled. That's one thing I don't ever want to see,
Go away.
leave. Mm-mm.
Right.
No, we've got a great downtown,
Sure do.
and we've got it pretty well under control as to what we need to do and how we need to do it. And it starts, we have 3 parades going on that particular day. We
right.
start up in Lapeer. They have their parade at 10 o'clock in the morning. Then we have ours, and ours is going to be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So you're coming south, and then you go further south and go to
keep
Lake
going.
Orion at, I think theirs is starting at either 5:30 or 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, you can go to 3 different parades. But
Fun.
ours, of course, is the best.
Of course.
Of
And you can
course.
see it. And you changed the time.
We did change the time.
Because of the Lake Orion parade, right?
Yes,
Because we
yes.
have a lot of people from Lake Orion that participate in our parade, which I just love.
Yes.
It gives me the chills.
Yes.
Because I grew up in Lake Orion. I'm an Oxford person. Die hard, but it just kind of blends who I am.
Yes.
And a lot of people in Oxford are like that. And there's people that were raised in Oxford that are now Orion people. So we're one, Chris Barnett, the township supervisor, ISS North Oxford, we're really one community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oxford.
Oxford. Oh, gosh. Okay, with that said, we're going to be taking just a really quick break, but don't go away. We'll be right back again, okay? welcome back to DayBreak. Deb Uren, President of the Oxford Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Terry Stiles, Production Manager at OCTV.
Yes, and what are we going to share?
So I'm Production Manager at OCTV. I know you people have heard me talk about this, but I do want to talk about our survey. Our funding is threatened. The governor, as well as the FCC, the federal government, has approved a ruling that Charter, AT&T, Comcast, whoever provides your cable and your internet, they get to keep the franchise fees that they charge you, and they initially were charging you those fees in order to pay for the rights of way maintenance and easement maintenance that they use within our community. Fair enough. Well, now all they have to do is pay $20 a month to the communities, and they get to keep those franchise fees if they want as an in-kind service fee. So that meaning, because we're using their broadband width or their airwaves, they get to charge us for that now. So they could eventually take all of our franchise fees away. Having said that, that is being appealed by national groups as well as local groups. Very costly, and OCTV unfortunately doesn't have the money to join in that fight. But what we are fighting is there's also a fee called PEG fees, public, government, and educational, or public, educational, and government, excuse me. And you've never seen those PEG fees on your bill because previous management did not negotiate those PEG fees to come to us from your provider in previous contracts. Those PEG fees take care of capital expenditures, so that would have been our rent. We paid $24,000 a year in rent last year. It would have covered that. The last 12 years, we're not paying rent now because we bought this building. So now we are asking Charter for those PEG fees, for them to include those PEG fees on your bill, which would be like $1 a month, so that we can offset what we're losing in franchise fees and pay capital expenditures like equipment that breaks and wears down, etc. Stuff that we need to function. It cannot go for wages, it can't go for, say, mileage, that kind of thing, but it can go for if we have equipment break. And in our industry, excuse me, we need to update our equipment on a regular basis.
Absolutely, yes.
So anyhow, all that to say, Charter is fighting us on that. They do not feel that they can do that. They say, nope, we're not going to do it. You didn't need it for the last 12 years, 14 years, so we're not going to do it now. I have been told differently by several lawyers that that can be included at any time.
Oh.
So we're fighting it. So it's not us, it's your community. Oxford Township has to fight it, the Village of Oxford has to fight it, Addison Township and the Village of Leonard. They have to fight it. Charter won't even deal with me because we're not in contract with Charter. The communities are. But in the meantime, I'm doing the fight because I understand it a lot better than, and that's what my time should be for.
Right. Exactly.
Whereas, somebody running the Village of Oxford has other things to do. So, one of the requirements, one of the hoops that we have to jump through for Charter is a community needs assessment. In other words, Charter wants to know if people in the community want us here. It's been astounding to see the support that we've gotten from every individual that we've encountered in all communities. I think that their leaders, their community leaders, are not aware of how badly their residents want us here.
Oh,
so what we've
fantastic.
been doing, rather than broadcast this survey, we have no guidelines from Charter what they want to see on this survey. We've had no perimeters, how many questions, who do you want us to survey? They won't tell us who their customers are. If we could just survey their customers, it'd be a lot easier.
Sure.
We're surveying AT&T customers, Charter customers, Hulu, whoever. All that to say, we've been going to football games, any event in the community we go to. Homecoming is coming up. We will have Dave and Elgin there. And we're actually hand-to-hand asking people for surveys. So far, we've collected 500.
Wow.
And out of the 500, we've had one negative.
Really?
And it was only like, no, I don't watch. No, I don't care. No, I don't. And the questions are very leading, but it's the reason we're here. Do people care about what's going on in their community? Do they care about the sports? Do they care about school news? Do they care about what their government's doing? Their local government. It's all about local. Without us, you're not going to hear about Oxford on Channel 247. You're certainly not going to hear about what's going on in Oxford and Addison on CNN and Fox and MSNBC.
No.
Without us, you will have no idea what's going on in your community unless you read the newspaper every week. And that only comes out once a week. All that to say, they are giving us a deadline of November 1st for that survey.
Wow.
And so if you see us around, please ask us for a survey. We all have hands-on those things. Or if we approach you, we have had some people go, nah, I don't want to take a survey. Well then, I have to do that whole spiel that I just did. And they're like, oh yeah, we want you in the community. I'm astounded. Because I hear from people like, I didn't know we had a television station in Oxford. I can't tell you how many times I hear that.
I don't even want to go there because I hear that.
You hear it too.
Oh, yes.
But every single person we've talked to is like, yeah, we know who you are. Oh, I love watching the sports. Oh yeah, I watch you on YouTube. I don't have, because you can find programming online too. So there's no excuse. If you don't have Charter or AT&T, no excuse not to know what's going on in your community.
Exactly.
We post meetings. We cover every single meeting that your government has. There's so many people that say, I don't want to know about government. You want to know what your tax dollars are doing, right? We are covering that for you. So
You voted
I'm
for
so
these people.
impassioned.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so all that to say, please take a survey. Call us. We will drive that survey to your house. We want to prove to Charter that what we already know, we're a valuable service to this community.
Exactly.
Having said that, speaking of valuable service to the community, and I'm giving another business plug, and that's another reason why we're here.
Exactly.
It's to let everybody know what kind of business we have in the community, and we have some unique ones, like Freedom Kitchen, but also we have Beehive Homes. I hate to call it a business because it's a home, but it's a new memory care facility. It's a home, memory care house in the facility in our village on Gillespie at the Pollyann Trail. And I just am asking you to just go in and talk with Matt and his wife Marie, I believe her name is. They're wonderful people, and I would have been happy to have been able to put my mom there rather than me taking care of her in her last 6 weeks, because I didn't know what I was doing. And I couldn't attend to her every single moment like they can.
Right. And it's a brand new facility. Granted, it's
beautiful.
It's new here in our community, but the building itself is
beautiful.
Brand new. They are having a grand opening as well on October 11th.
Yes.
So, and that is open to the public, and that is the perfect time to be able to go in and actually see what it is.
We need to have a coffee connect there.
We do, and I think we will. But this will be, I think they have like 19, 20 rooms.
Yeah, they have a lot.
So, I mean, it's a large facility. It's not just a 4 or 5 room
Beautiful place.
home. So I'm looking very forward to that grand opening.
There's an article in this week's newspaper about
Absolutely.
them, so read it. They're great.
What a great way to end our session by promoting such a fantastic business here, another fantastic business
Yeah,
here
what
in
a great
Oxford.
community we live in.
So with that being said, we are going to have to go. We're going to have to
Yeah.
wrap it up. And thank you so much for being with us today. We look forward to our next program when we start our taping. But for right now, you guys all have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and enjoy.
Be safe.
Be safe.
Catch us anytime on YouTube. Go to Oxford Community Television YouTube.